Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to join with Cristobal with his movie, The Perfect Tomato. Let's take a look at the clip.
Papá, ve la hora. Te dije que no te la llevaras hoy.
Es sábado, Elena.
Pues sí, papá, pero la niña está muy atrasada en la escuela. ¿Sabes qué me dijo su maestra? Que se la pasa el día hablando de tomates y de marranos. Me tienen harta los dos.
No vayas a quemar la casa.
Ay, los frijoles. Y no te me vuelvas a ir sin un teléfono. Te voy a comprar uno.
Otra vez.
Really happy to have you here. Welcome to New Filmmakers LA family, and thank you for bringing your wonderful, wonderful film to us. For those of our audience that haven't seen it, tell us a bit about your film.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here, and I've enjoyed it so much. Well, the film it takes place in Mexico.
Yeah.
So it's about an old farmer that refuses to live his life. He's built all his life since he was little, and his daughter gets a chance to move to the city, open a pottery store, and move on and grow. But he's clinging to the harvesting, to his lifestyle. So it's all this family dynamics where one side, the daughter wants to move on, wants to get more, and he's just good where he is and happy where he is and doesn't aspire too much. So it's like the dynamic between them.
It's so beautiful and it's so sentimental. It's such a wonderful film to watch on the big screen because cinematically it was a beautiful film to watch as well. Where did this idea come from? Where did it come from, and how did this sort of articulate into being a film?
I live in New York right now, and I was thinking of a short film idea, and walking on the street, I remember seeing like these little stands that are on the street, that markets that have fruit, vegetables. And one of my very good friends in Mexico, in León, where I'm from, he harvests tomatoes, cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
So I kind of know what he does, but I recognized one of his packages. He sells to a distributor, but there are certain packages he only manages. So when I send a picture to him, he's like, "This looks like one of your packages," and he's like, "Dude, I'm the only one that uses that package from that distributor. It's for sure mine." And it said came from Mexico, didn't specify. So I'm like, that's crazy. I just felt like the connection with my city, and thinking that these tomatoes were handled by the farmers in my city, and I just felt this connection and just couldn't stop thinking about the people that are consuming them and how different lifestyles and realities they live. So that's when I started exploring this idea and really thinking like this. It impacted me a lot. So I'm like, I have to explore this better, and that's how it all started.
Oh, it's such a great story how the film came about, and I really as well. Firstly, thank you for coming from New York City to be here. That's
happy to be
very
here.
grateful to have you here, and how special that is. You're in New York, and your friend makes these cherry tomatoes, and you receive that in New York. That's such a special experience from your hometown as well.
And he was so happy. He was like, "Dude, it's in New York." Like, he never really knows where his product goes. He knows he goes to the US. So when he saw it and that I bought it, and it was nice. It was a good connection we had.
And you really captured in the film the love, the absolute love that this man has of tomatoes and what he's built in his in his career. And I can understand from his side too of how hard that is to kind of leave and everything that he's been through, because it's all that he knows, right? So it's such a different thing. These characters you had, I just love this family. Like, this family was so beautiful to watch on the screen. How did you go about bringing your cast together? Because they were brilliant.
I knew Nacho, the main character. His name is Eligio Melendez.
So good.
He's a great actor, and he's in a lot of films back in Mexico, and he's very busy. He's a very good actor. And I was working as a PA a long time ago in a production, in a movie in Mexico. And I saw him. I met him there. I knew the director was a friend. I was just helping out on set. And I just thought, this guy is great. That's it. And then when this story comes, I thought of him right away. I'm like, Eligio would be amazing. Like, he has the age profile, and he's a good actor. And So at some point I thought, should I try to find a non-actor? You know, go and cast one of the real farmers. But when I talk to them, a lot of them are very shy, and in camera they don't want to, you know. So I saw that was a real challenge. So my only option was Eligio so far. So I'm like, please, it has to work. And it did. I called the director, then I called him, and Eligio, we talked before even talking about the script, like for 3 hours. How are you? How's life? Blah, blah. And eventually I'm like, I'll send you a short film if you're interested, because he's doing more feature films and TV shows. So he was down, he sent it to me, let's talk more about it. He loved it. And when he read it, he's like, I couldn't stop thinking about my daughter, my real daughter.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, her real name is Maria Melendez. And he's like, she's a producer in Televisa, Mexico City, but she loves acting, but she's never done it before. I'm like, wow, she fits the age, everything. I'm like, this will be perfect. Father and daughter, right? And they look alike. I don't have to worry about, you know, casting someone that looks like him. It would solve a lot of issues. So I talked to Maria. She was amazing and very smart woman. And I'm like, okay, let's go for it. Let's do it. So, and then he's like, oh, and by the way, I have a niece that's almost a granddaughter to me. I'm super close to her. She lives in Puebla, and she acts in commercials, and she loves acting. You should take a look. It fits the age of Maria. I'm like, no, okay, let me.
It's so unusual, isn't it?
So unusual. I thought casting was gonna be so hard.
Yeah.
And suddenly it happened. And then it's the whole family acting together, which for them was a dream come true. Because he's like, I've always wanted to act with my daughter. And much more with my niece, like all of us. So that was special for them. So the commitment and the effort they gave to the film, I can't thank them enough. It's also their film, you know? So it's like...
What a talented family, though. Like, my goodness. Like, I mean, because they all just were brilliant together. And, you know, it sounds easy when you think, oh, they're a family. But, you know, there's still, obviously, there's roles, there's characters they've got to do. But it all just works so wonderfully well. I loved how you shot this film. The lighting, just the design, the intimacy, the dialogue. Like, how did you, I mean, going into making this film, like, how did you want it to look and feel? Like, what was your kind of, how did you speak with your DP and in that conversation?
Well, a lot of it was in terms of the tone, the look. I knew I wanted it to look natural.
Yeah.
I really wanted to. By this time, I'm also doing my master's at Columbia, right? So it's one of the projects. So, you know, you're seeing a lot of the classes, a lot of the directing classes, and you see how they speak about, you know, scenes and cutting differently. So I've had some great teachers, and I really admire their work. And I started thinking, like, they gave me like a new meaning to how to approach a scene and what cutting should mean and how not use it too much. So it's the first time in a film that I'm very conscious about how I want to use the cutting and how I want to use coverage. So I was very aware that I wanted to keep scenes, like give a slice of life, but make it very natural. It could feel like a documentary, but like real. I didn't want any stylized too much or anything. And also in terms of camera and everything, I didn't want it to be too slow.
Yeah.
But I did want it to give it meaning to cuts and stuff like that. So when I approached my DP, Brendan Sweeney, who's amazing, and it's a very good friend since before, he lives here in LA actually, so he flew to Mexico. He was more than happy to do it. He's a producer-director, which he knows a lot about cinematography, but he doesn't love calling himself cinematographer, but he's amazing. So he came by and right away he told me, let's try to shoot this with the Red Gemini. It has a great sensor, so we don't have to use a lot of lighting, the night scenes. And so we got the camera. And a lot of it was we had lights, and obviously, but not as much. So we did have to be very efficient with being close to windows, doing the scouting, and it was the approach, making it look like real documentary, but also like really planning, blocking coverage, and not just going crazy with, you know, trying to light every scene, like the dark scene. We knew, okay, this is good enough. Could it be better? Always, but okay, it's fine. You know, this is real life. So it was a lot of back and forth around that area of keeping it natural. as natural as possible.
What have you learnt making from this project particularly?
Honestly, a lot, and first of all, like the importance of building the right team, like a good team that not only takes burden out of your hands, but also like brings solutions in a way that you would have never thought. So like also Ana Barroso, the costume designer, she was amazing. And costume design, you will think like, oh, it's like normal clothes. It's not. She really had to think about what they wear. There's a color palette that changes throughout the film, inspired on, you know, the yellow plant and the evolution of the tomato. So there's like this color psychology behind it that she and Natalie Cruz, also the production designer, worked together to bring this color palette in the places, in the things they use, or clothes. So also collaboration, I mean, it keeps surprising me how important it is.
Yeah, and all those subtle details really made the film, because, you know, you took care of all those very important things that showcase the true authentic journey of the film, from down to the color of the tomatoes, which is amazing. Did you actually use did you actually film in your friend's
yes, in the greenhouse.
Oh wow, that must have been great for him.
It was great, you know. He was so happy, and he was like, and everyone behind, like all the people, extras, were actual workers doing their job. We just told them, don't look to the camera, you guys keep going. But it was summer, it was very warm inside. And we all had to wear the uniform that Nacho is using. We also had to wear it because because of protection to the plant and, you know, plagues and stuff. So we were soaking, sweating, like. And the camera would shut off because of the heat. So that was one of the challenges there, you know, getting that. And Eligio, he's also like in his 70s, so he has to keep hydrated. So it was a challenge into shooting there. And one of the surprises is that the idea of the script was that they were going to be harvesting tomatoes. But like 2 weeks before, my friend tells me, wait, you want them to harvest? I'm like, yeah, I told you like 3 months ago. He's like, no, it's not harvesting season. The plants are super small. I'm like, oh my God. So I had to change the whole introduction of the characters and the whole script and the metaphor of the dialogue he has with his grandkid. So we had to quickly change things like that. But
that's you can't change, unfortunately, the season, can you? So,
I can't. I had to adapt.
What's it been like for you taking this to film festivals? What's the reaction been like for you?
Well, you know, I love seeing it with people, and I think it's a great experience because I get used to it so much, to the story, that I don't feel certain bits, you know, and I'm just to it. And watching it with people, reaction has been like really good, and people laugh in places where I didn't think were funny, right? Or where I was hesitating. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And even different festivals with different audiences, you know, they find the same scene funny. And I'm like, okay, great, you know. So there's like this lightness to the drama, which I was seeking, but I wasn't sure was there, and I'm realizing it is for what the audience reacts, and it's been great. People have been very emotional. Once more in Alaska, for example, I was in Anchorage this December, and there's a lot of old local people from Alaska that just go, and a lot of them, like, it impacted them very, very specifically because they're old, and they were like, it's like seeing Nacho and his lifestyle and how happy he is. It really moved them, and so it's had good reactions, thankfully.
Yeah, and last night it was lovely to have it with us at the film festival, and just everyone taking so much from it, and the story and what it stands for. What did we kind of allude this last night at the festival? What did you want your audience to experience from the film? I just want them to really. I didn't want to give any answers. Who's right? Who's wrong? Is ambition better than, you know, sitting in your comfort zone? I wouldn't say Nacho's in his comfort zone. But, you know, society, again, like me being in New York these couple years, you know, it's everyone's dream. Move to LA, New York, ambition, achieve, you know, get prizes. And it's like this game that I've always asked to myself, what is really success? Where is the pleasure? Where is the happiness, right? So that's something that's really been with me. And with this story, that's what I wanted to explore and what I wanted the audience to take. Like, what am I, you know, what makes me happy right now? And it doesn't have to be,
more than picking up tomatoes every day and
Yeah.
and going and sit in my chair with my goats and having my glass of milk and
Yeah.
so and honestly the people, a lot of people that work in the farm don't want more even if you offer it. And that struck me. I'm like, it's like, and who's right? I mean, and there's another people that say no, but if not, we wouldn't progress as a human species. So it's like this dilemma that I don't know the answer to, obviously, but I do want people to think like, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, of course.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
And are you just chasing the carrot?
Yeah, and it's great to kind of have those questions asked of ourselves. We're seeing this universal story. We love these characters. You love the story, but then we're like, we get to self-reflect on ourselves. Exactly that, which I love. Which well done to you for, creating this story. What's next? What's going on next?
Well, now I'm working on. I already have a draft of a feature. I'm revising it this year.
Amazing.
And I'm shooting. I still have 1.5 years of my master's, which is only thesis time. So it's writing.
How's it going at Columbia?
It's going amazing. It's going amazing.
Good.
I'm loving it. And right now, even more because it's like. It's no more classes. It's just like focus on your projects. And I'm specialized in screenwriting. We have to choose between directing and screenwriting, and that changes our thesis. So my thesis is I have to come up with a feature film and a pilot, like well revised, not like super drafty, but like a good version of it, and a short film. So I already have the draft of the feature, which I'm hoping will be my first feature when I start, trying to make it in 1.5 years. But for now, it's revising it with my class and everything, and also the short film that I'm going to be shooting in October.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, listen, enjoy every moment being at Columbia because it's one of
Yeah.
the greatest schools and have brilliant students as well, obviously.
Yeah.
But enjoy that experience because there's nothing quite like studying film in New York as well. It's an amazing
I know,
experience.
the city is amazing.
It's an
the
amazing
experience,
city,
yeah.
but we're really proud of you for making this film and we're looking forward to following you on the next project. So thank you for being here, coming here, and welcome to our family too. So we're really
I'm so happy
appreciate
to be here. I've loved the festival
Yeah.
so much, and you guys are amazing. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
appreciate all the support you give.
Thank you, and thanks to all your cast and crew as well. If it's cast, you've got an amazing family,
Yeah.
and I'm still dreaming of those juicy tomatoes now. I'm like, I want some myself. So there you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Cristobal, everybody.